Lieutenant Gerald B. Lowrey. I joined the Army in 1942, September 12th. I went through training in Air Gunnery School, graduated from that, and then took pilot training, graduated from that in 1943. In March of 1944, I was sent to the South Pacific, a fighter pilot flying a P-38. That's a twin-engine fighter plane with one occupant. The mission I'm going to tell you about happened on November the 4th, 1944. We left Moritai Aerodrome and went. Our primary mission was to go to Bacolod Aerodrome in the Philippine Isles. That's on Negros Island. Well, we got there around 10 o'clock. We had reports that there were a big buildup of Japanese airplanes in that area. Well, we got up there and we couldn't find any aircraft. And I was flying wingman at that time. A wingman that flies to the right of the element leader. His job is to watch to the left, up and down, all around his element leader. The element leader's job is to watch to his wingman's right. Well, anyway, we were fooling around looking for the Japs. All of a sudden, I had a strange premonition or urge or something to look to the right, which I'm not supposed to do. I looked to the right, and a Japanese fighter was sitting up on the edge. I looked right in the gun barrel. He was shooting me right there. My right engine burst into flame, and I was in a sort of a tight predicament right then. And I looking around, it was about 8 or 9 of them. And they kept hitting at me just like birds hitting at a crow or a hawk or something. And I feared all was lost right along then. But I noticed a dark black cloud to my left, and I figured my only hope was to get in that black cloud and shake them loose from it. So I got over into the cloud, and the engine was still burning. I was looking any minute for it to blow up. But I decided I had to decide what to do, because I was all by myself and I had 9 Japanese fighters looking for me. So I got in that cloud and I went down. I was about 5,000 feet high, and I decided I'd go down and go out over the ocean and slip it in on the water. Well, that's what I did. I went down, I got over the ocean, and the water, the big waves were so rough, I knew it'd tear that airplane all apart if I tried to do that. So the next thing I decided to do, I decided to pull it up, kill the speed off, and bail out. Well, I was doing about 300 miles an hour. I pulled it up, killed the speed down to about 150, and got out on the wing and fell out. And if you notice on that picture you got there, you have to fall out between those 2 tail booms. And you got a 50-50 chance that back section is going to hit you when you bail out. But it didn't hit me. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pulled the ripcord. Parachute billowed out and popped open. By the time it popped open, a Japanese, one of those fighters had come down, and he had found me. And he was sitting right pretty close to me, and when he saw that parachute pop open, he turned into a 90-degree turn and started shooting. Man, I tried to climb up the shroud line. I was kicking my feet up on anything to get away from him. Well, he passed right under me. He went on out and turned around where he'd have plenty of room and plenty of time. I reckon he figured he had all the time he needed to kill me. And there I was, hanging there, just as helpless as I could be. Looked like I couldn't fall fast. Looked like I was just doomed to die. But I decided I'd unbuckle that parachute. I unbuckled the leg straps and the breast strap, and I was holding the parachute with my hand. And being a pilot now, you know about how close an aircraft got to get before he'll shoot you. And I figured that I'd watch him until I figured he was close enough to shoot me, and then I was going to let that parachute go. And that's what I did. I fell head over heels every which way, but I hit the water feet first. I went down real deep, and I was fighting all the time not to go any deeper. I tell you, when I got back to the top, it was the best breath of air I believe I ever had. Well, I had on a May West. It's a life preserver you have to blow air into, but it's bright yellow. I knew I had to get that thing off of me because they could see it just like a light shining out there. So in the proceedings of taking it off, the darn parachute fell right on top of me. And all those shroud lines and everything, I got tangled all up in them. I had a gun belt on, a canteen, and a 45 pistol, all sorts of little junk that I might need. All of this stuff was tangled up in that shroud line. So I just unbuckled the holder and messed and swam out from under it. But before I could get out from under the parachute, one of those planes hauled off and strafed the parachute. I felt one bullet sort of stunned me. I thought I was hit, but it just stunned me. But it passed in about 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. And I could tell which way they all had gathered down there, all 9 of them then. And they were flying in a circle, round and round, shooting in that parachute. Well, I'd go under and swim to the side. I kept going to the side. I'd just barely come up to get air. I wouldn't want to show them anything. But anyway, they shot there about 10 minutes, I reckon. And then it started to rain. Now, I wasn't about a quarter of a mile off from that big air base they had, Baccalaureate Aerodrome. When it started to rain, they all went in and landed. I watched them go in and land. Little old trucks came out and picked up the pilots. But while it was raining, I was doing all I could to get out to sea. I knew I had to get away from that close to that air base. So I went on out, and about 45 minutes it quit raining. And I had stopped to rest then. I was so tired I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I stopped to rest and it quit raining. Now I heard those planes crank up again. And they came back out. I had blown just a little air in that May West to try to help me hold up a little bit. But I let it out when I heard them. Well, they came out there and they flew around, I reckon, 30 minutes. And I wasn't helping them find me. I tell you, I was being just as hidden as I could be. Well, they went back and landed again. And then they came out on the beach there. I saw a bunch of men come out on the beach. They rolled a big white sailboat, not sailboat, a motorboat. Shoved it out there in the water, and they got in it, cranked it up, and they made a big circle around out there looking for me. Then they came back and picked up the parachute, pulled it up in there, and went back to shore. But everything after then sort of quieted down. I was about 3/4 mile away from that base right then. But the water sort of cooled down or smoothed out some, and I was afraid to try to do too much swimming. Because a man on the beach with a pair of binoculars, he could see me out there thrashing around in the water, so I just sort of played it cool the rest of that day. Now, before I bailed out, I had called out squadron on the radio and told them about where I was, to please come back and get me the next day. Anyway, I went along all that afternoon, and just about night, I decided I'd best try to get to shore since I wasn't about a mile at best. I figured I could swim back to shore. And if I could get to shore and get inland about 12, 15 miles, you could get in contact with the Filipino guerrillas they take care of you. Well, just about dark, I decided to start out. I looked over there on the beach. And I had never seen as many little old boats come sliding out of those bushes. And looked like they came from everywhere. And I realized it was the Filipinos fishing at night. They did all the fishing at night because it was too dangerous in the daytime for them to fish with the war going on and all. And all that night, I swam around. I was dodging those boats. They'd come out 2-3 miles into the ocean fishing, and I dodged them all that day. All that night. And the next morning, they all went right back into shore. And everything was quiet and peaceful. I saw a lot of Japanese airplanes late that afternoon going and coming. They were coming from other places, landing at Bangalore. Anyway, that next morning, everything got quiet, and I was looking for airplanes to come get me. Well, about 10 o'clock, I saw some planes. They were so far away they looked like gnats in there. That's probably how hard I was looking for. But anyway, they came in. Now on that May West, you got a little package of green powder. They call it sea marker. You put it out on that blue water, and it turned it a real bright green. But somewhere along the line, I figured I might need 2 of those things. But anyway, I had a little spot out, so I had to be sure they was our airplane before I put any out. I put it out, they flew right over me and didn't see it. That was one package gone. But I knew they was going up the end of that strait and come back, so I said, well, I had to go for broke. I was going to put the other one out too. So I put the other one out. When they got back, I bet I had 10-acre spot. There was no way they could miss it. But they found me, and they called in the rescue plane. It was a seaplane. They called it in, and while it was coming in, they got over there and they worked on Bangalore Aerodrome. Man, those 25 pilots, aircraft was tearing that air base up. And they was having to do that to distract the Japanese away from the rescue. But anyway, the seaplane landed. And he was coming. I reckon he was about a half mile from me, because he had to land way out and then sort of taxi in to pick me up. So the Japs wouldn't, maybe we could slip it by them, they wouldn't know what was happening. Anyway, I was all elated because here come the plane. I was fixing to get out of this place. I happened to look out to the right, and I saw what I thought was a log out there with a limb sticking up just a little bit. Well, I didn't pay too much attention to it, because I was too excited over fixing to get rescued by the seaplane. And I went along, I reckon, 3 or 4 minutes, and I looked back out there at that log, what I thought was a log. And then I realized it was a big snake. And he was headed directly to me. He wasn't swimming that fast, but he was making a definite effort to get to me. Well, the seaplane was coming, and the snake was coming, and I was wondering who's going to get there first. Well, the snake got there first. Now, he got right just about 4 feet from me, and he stopped. I could reach out, just about reach out and touch him. And he just stood, just lay there in the water with his, run his tongue in and out. And his tongue looked like 2 of my fingers. And I didn't move. I knew not to move. I stayed still. I was even afraid to bat my eye. And he just stayed there. It must have been 5 minutes that he just stayed there looking at me. But I still didn't move. And then the plane was getting closer all the time. I was wishing they'd come on. But as luck would have it, they got a certain gate they have to go. Anyway, the plane, I noticed it was going too fast. I said, there ain't no way they can pick me up going that fast, and I know they don't have any brakes. So it's got that plane had a main spar on it. All it is a brace from the fuselage up to the wing. I decided I'd catch that brace I said, if anything, they'll drag me out away from this snake. And then if they have to turn around and come back and get me, I will be away from this snake. Anyway, I grabbed that spar when they came by me. And I held on it, I reckon, for about 10 feet, and I was so weak I couldn't hold it. I fell loose from it. And there was a big old Navy seaman hanging out the back on a rope ladder. And when my arm came off that spar, he grabbed it. He grabbed me right around the wrist. And I said, hold it, boy, hold it. He said, oh, Lieutenant, we're not going to leave you out here. I said, yeah, but it's a big snake out here, and I don't think he's had breakfast. But anyway, we scuttled around and kept pulling and tugging until they got me in there. They wheeled that airplane around, boy, and we got out of there. We went on back to Mortai, where we were based at. They checked me into the hospital there and right out and sent me to Sydney, Australia. To the hospital in Sydney, Australia. I stayed there 30 days. Then I came back to the front to fight again. Now, I know, and all going through all that I went through during the war, that the Lord had a hand in all of that. He had a real big hand in it. But anyway, war is hell, they say. And I can really vouch for it, that it is. I guess that about wraps it up. This is